Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are tackling one of the biggest nightmares in retail. Discovering your best-selling product is actually out of stock right as a customer is trying to buy it.
It is the absolute worst. And it usually happens because store owners are relying on delayed end-of-day uploads or manual reconciliation to track their stock. If you have several employees processing sales across different registers, keeping that inventory accurate can be incredibly challenging.
Exactly. But today, we are looking at a game changer. Register POS. This system updates your inventory in real time with every single sale, return, and adjustment.
And it doesn't just update the point of sale. Each time a sale occurs, all connected registers and QuickBooks Online reflect the exact same change immediately. You get one single, perfectly accurate version of the truth.
Which means no more surprise stockouts. You can track your sales patterns as they develop and reorder your best sellers before they run out.
It is all about turning live data into business growth. Let's dive into how Instant Inventory Sync helps you track which products move fastest and generate the strongest margins.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We are looking at a really interesting stack of sources today. We've got a detailed blog post and also a transcript from an explainer video, all focused on this concept of Register POS and its connection to QuickBooks Online.
Right. And the mission for our deep dive today is to really explore this shift. I mean, we're talking about moving from a reactive, delayed style of inventory tracking to something proactive and real time.
Yeah, exactly. It's about establishing that single version of the truth, right? Like protecting sales and just completely eliminating those manual accounting errors that drive everyone crazy.
What's fascinating here is that when you look at retail health, it is so directly tied to data accuracy. Like if your digital numbers, the stuff on the screen, if that doesn't match the physical shelves, everything starts to crumble.
Oh, totally. Customer satisfaction, purchasing decisions, it all just falls apart. So to really understand why this shift is so critical, we have to look at the root cause, the outdated reliance on end-of-day data.
Yeah, it's basically the industry standard that's been dragging everyone down. Manual reconciliation and, those delayed end-of-day uploads to QuickBooks Online.
Right. You run the store all day, you collect all this data at the registers, and then after the doors lock, you push this massive batch of data to the software.
Exactly. And the sources point out that Register POS just completely eliminates this because it updates the inventory in real time with, every single sale, every return, every adjustment.
The explainer video actually has a great line where it says, scan a product and watch the inventory update instantly. Which sounds simple, but it's massive. Let's break down the danger of using yesterday's numbers, though.
Oh, it's huge. When retailers are making today's decisions based on yesterday's data, they're inherently operating in the past. It's a huge disadvantage.
It's like, okay, think about driving a car, right? But you're only looking at a map of where you were yesterday.
That is a perfect analogy. You are managing a ghost of your inventory. And we really have to highlight the psychological toll of this, too. Manual reconciliation is it's tedious.
It sounds awful.
It is. You're sitting there trying to make the physical count match the digital record, hunting for errors. The relief of removing that guesswork is a huge theme in the sources.
But wait, let me play devil's advocate for a second here. Doesn't constant instant syncing, doesn't that bog down the system or just overwhelm the business owner with way too much data all the time?
You'd think so, right? But the source text actually argues the exact opposite. By automating these updates, the staff actually spends less time entering data.
Oh, because the system's just doing it quietly in the background.
Exactly. It creates what they call operational clarity. You spend less time doing data entry and way more time actually helping the customers in front of you.
Which totally shifts the store manager's morning routine, if you think about it. Instead of coming in and starting the day merging yesterday's messy data.
Right. Playing detective with yesterday's receipts.
Yeah. They start the day looking forward. They're empowered to make informed decisions immediately, because the data is already perfectly up to date.
It's a fundamental shift in posture. You're on the offensive, not the defensive.
Okay, so since we've established that the data is live and accurate now, let's look at the immediate tangible benefit on the store floor. Because fixing the back office only matters if it helps save the sale.
Right, and discovering a product is out of stock. It interrupts the sale and causes immense frustration. It's the dreaded stock out.
It really is. We've all been there as the customer. You're ready to buy, credit card in hand, and the employee just gives you that look like, actually, we sold the last one an hour ago.
It's painful. And the sources emphasize that with Register POS, the moment an item is sold, the available quantity drops automatically in QuickBooks Online.
Instantly.
Instantly. And this powers what the text calls automated reorder queues to help prevent those stockouts before they even happen.
Okay, I want to dig into that because the explainer specifically notes that high-volume retail and seasonal products benefit the most from this. Why are seasonal products so vulnerable to this end-of-day data lag?
Because of the speed of the sales. If you have high volume or seasonal inventory, sales happen so rapidly that a morning estimate is completely obsolete by noon.
Ah, I see. Like a garden center on a Saturday in spring.
Exactly. If you're selling bags of premium soil and it's a sunny Saturday, your morning inventory count is useless by 1:00 p.m. The text explicitly states this live tracking gives owners peace of mind.
Which makes sense. It shifts you from that defensive posture, putting out fires when the shelves are completely empty, to anticipating what the customer actually needs.
Right. You aren't reacting to a zero inventory alert. You're reacting to a velocity queue.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. It's kind of like having this brilliant assistant who just stands there watching the shelves, right? And they just tap you on the shoulder the exact second you need to order more.
Instead of waiting for you to walk by and notice the huge empty gap on the shelf. Yes.
Exactly. But, okay, let's think about the other side of things. Returns. If the system auto-decreases quantity with a sale, it must increase it with a return, right?
Yes, and that is a massive point. Returns are usually total chaos in a traditional system.
Oh, totally. Because an item comes back, the cashier refunds it, but the physical item goes into, like, a bin under the counter.
Right, and digitally it doesn't exist yet because the manual end-of-day return processing hasn't happened. So if someone asks for that item 10 minutes later, the system says it's out of stock.
Even though it's sitting 3 feet away in a plastic tub? That is so frustrating.
But with Instant Sync, the moment the return is scanned, the item is instantly sellable again in the system.
Wow. So it captures potential revenue that would literally just be lost sitting in a returns bin waiting for midnight.
Exactly. You reliquify the asset instantly.
Okay, so we've looked at what happens with a single product, a single sale, or a return. But what happens when you scale this up? Like to multiple employees across an entire store?
This is where we move from individual item tracking to whole store synchronization. And the sources point out that managing inventory is chaotic when you have several employees processing sales across different registers or departments at the same time.
Oh, I can imagine. You have a race condition, like 2 people trying to buy the exact same last sweater at 2 different registers.
Precisely. But Register POS syncs every transaction across all connected systems instantly. The text says there are no data conflicts, no mismatched counts, and no need to merge reports.
It provides one version of the truth for the entire team. That phrase, one version of the truth, let's dissect that for a second.
It's critical in business because conflicting data sets cause total paralysis. If Register A up front says you have 5 items, but the back office QuickBooks says you have 2, trust in the system just breaks down.
Yeah, who do you believe? It's basically like trying to conduct an orchestra where every single musician is reading from a slightly different sheet of music.
That's a great way to put it. Register POS is the conductor keeping everyone on the exact same beat. It ensures that everyone from the cashier to the accountant to the floor manager is speaking the exact same language.
Have you ever asked an employee to check the back for an item and their computer says it's there, but it's not? That is the perfect example of lacking a single truth.
The dreaded, let me check the back room routine.
Yes. They disappear for 10 minutes, dig through boxes, and come back empty-handed. It wastes payroll and ruins the customer experience.
But when the data is perfectly reliable, the text states that employees can serve customers with confidence.
I love that. Imagine the impact on team morale. You aren't anxious about promising something to a customer that you can't deliver. It just creates a much more harmonious retail environment.
And much better customer service interactions, naturally.
Okay, so we've solved the physical problems, right? Stockouts, register chaos, return bins. Let's elevate the conversation to high-level business strategy. How does this automated sync translate into actual financial growth?
Well, because every update feeds directly into QuickBooks Online, the reports always reflect the true position of the business.
So retailers can track which products move fastest and identify items with strong margins, basically in real time.
Yes. And crucially, the sources mention they can recognize which items tie up capital without generating sales.
Tied up capital. I really want to zero in on that concept.
Yeah.
Because that feels like a profound insight from the text.
It is. Inventory sitting on a shelf isn't just a physical object, right? To a business owner, it's trapped money. It's a liquid cash that has been frozen into a solid asset.
And it's costing you money every day it sits there. You're paying rent for the shelf space, insurance.
Exactly. Real-time insights allow owners to free up that cash by spotting those slow movers instantly. They don't have to wait for an end-of-quarter review to realize a product is dead.
Which means the link between the POS and the accounting software ensures every single financial decision is based on real, accurate numbers, not just, gut feelings or estimates.
Right. It takes the emotion and the guesswork out of purchasing.
So what does this all mean practically? The text claims that automation protects margins. Can you clarify exactly how it does that? Like, what's the actual mechanism there?
Well, based on the sources, it all comes down to eradicating manual errors. Manual entry inevitably introduces small mistakes. A duplicate entry here, a missed invoice there.
Like accidentally typing 54 instead of 45.
Exactly. And those small mistakes grow into big financial problems. If your system thinks you have 100 units because of a typo, but you only have 50, you'll stock out.
And if it thinks you have 50 but you actually have 100, you'll overorder and have to put the excess on clearance, which totally destroys your profit margin.
Exactly. By eradicating those manual errors, you directly protect your profit margins. The digital ledger perfectly matches the physical reality.
So if a retailer knows their true position at any given hour, they could run highly targeted flash promotions on slow-moving stock on the fly, couldn't they?
Absolutely. You spot a slow mover on Tuesday morning, you discount it by Tuesday afternoon, and you transform that dead inventory back into immediate cash flow by Wednesday.
That is just incredible agility. We've really gone on quite a journey today. We started with the absolute nightmare of delayed end-of-day uploads and manual reconciliation.
The dark ages of retail data.
Truly. And we've seen how moving to the seamless harmony of Instant QuickBooks Online Sync with Register POS completely changes the game, eradicating stockouts, handling returns smoothly, and unlocking this deep, true business intelligence.
It turns a reactive administrative chore into a proactive growth engine.
Now, for you listening, if you want to take the next step and see how this works, the sources provided some very specific contact information. You can learn more at abilityregister.com. You can call them directly at 9Register8 or shoot an email to sales@abilityregister.com.
And the explainer video also specifically mentions you can reach out to Mike at salesabilityregister.com to discuss exactly how this fits into your store's setup.
Awesome. Now, before we go, I know you had one last concept for us to mull over today.
I do. If we connect all of this to the bigger picture, I want you to think about how much physical space in a retail store is dedicated solely to holding buffer stock in the back room.
Oh, like just in case the manual numbers are wrong and they run out unexpectedly?
Exactly. It's an insurance policy made of square footage. But if your real-time data is 100% accurate, could the future of retail mean significantly smaller back rooms?
Oh, wow.
Right. If you don't need a massive buffer, you could have larger sales floors, a totally reimagined store layout because you finally trust your data enough to run lean. Something to think about.
That is a fascinating idea. Reclaiming the back room because the software finally works the way it should. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep exploring, keep questioning the way things have always been done, and we will see you next time.